And joining me today is Steven Asplund, who fights Anthony Guarascio at Dana White's Contender Series Week 5. That fight is this Tuesday. That's right, this Tuesday. So, Steven, obviously, I got to ask, man, just barely hit the news cycle for all of us, for,
Right.
everybody around. How long have you known that you were the fill-in for this fight?
So a week yesterday, man, I got the call about 4 p.m. Central Time, and I had to jump at the opportunity, right? It's a once in a lifetime type of deal, especially for a little fat kid that's trying to pursue some shit. So, we got to step up when they call.
I love it. So you're saying, a week ago, last or this Wednesday, so that's given you about 2 weeks time to prepare for the fight itself. Now, obviously, you were deep in camp for Heiderman anyway. Give us a little bit of the status of how much that changed, being that, the timing's a little off on it too.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm ready to fight whenever. I with my training sessions and my training partners, we got a pretty good setup now with Tommy kind of leading the charge with our practices and kind of facilitating what we should be doing, and all our coaches with their hands in telling us all the extra shit. Um, so no, I was geeked. You mean I get to fight on Tuesday and come home and be a fan on Friday? Fuck yeah. Let me happily.
Yeah. And so then too, on top of all of that, obviously the part of getting a fight earlier, getting to, just enjoy LFA as a fan instead of as a participant and stuff, all of that's bonus. But tell me about the whirlwind this week has been, because I know you're out in Vegas. I know you're doing the photo shoots and the camera stuff and all that. Is it a lot being the fight week?
I mean, it's not anything. I mean, this is what I prayed for, right? Like this is all I've ever wanted, especially starting this journey. So it's it kind of hasn't really been anything out of the norm. I'm normally fucking fight week. I'm trying to get out of my head, running around anyways, hanging with the homies and being at the gym, just doing whatever I can to stay the fuck out of here. So now, I mean, at least I have a lot more of the city life to be able to keep my mind busy and you know, the photo shoots and everything has been so cool. It's surreal. I mean, I've asked probably more than anybody else has in the past if I could keep my shirt on, but but at the same time, I've fought in front of fucking couple thousand people before. Now it's just a world. So
Yeah,
then maybe
absolutely.
maybe next fight I'll show up with a six pack.
So, I gotta ask about the thought process here too, because as you said, it's kind of crazy, but it's all that you've dreamed for. How much did you expect it though, right? Because some fighters when the contender series is rolling around, they're like, I'm there, I'm ready, I'm a champ, I got the belt, or I got a big knockout coming off a big knockout, and they kind of know what's coming. They've already announced a half dozen heavyweight fights for this season, or we're halfway through the season as it is. This is week 5. Did you start to doubt whether or not that this call was going to come?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, man. It was in the back of my head, but at the same time, it's not something I'm sitting there like focusing on. My main focus is to focus on the task at hand and whoever's in front of me. So with this call up, I just get that opportunity a little sooner. I figured I was a shoe in as long as I beat Jordan anyways. And we just get to fight a little sooner and it's a fucking main event for the big show. That's first main event of my career and I'm in the fucking UFC. What? So I'm like I said, little fat boy's dream. And I'm gonna try to change that narrative too, because I'm just a fat kid that never gave up on himself, man. And like to be able to have this platform, I hope to God I get to inspire a few people. And I hope a couple of people look at this journey and look at my story and like, all right, well, if his dumb ass can do it, I can do it. So
And I know we've touched on that before in the past, right? We talked about the beginning of your journey and stuff like that. But to all of those people out there who are, maybe one step off the couch and thinking about doing what you're doing right now, like what is your message to them? What do you want to say to them on the eve of this big moment?
and Nike, baby, just do it. It's you can't sit here and wait for other people to judge you and everything. And half the time, the people judging you would never take the same steps. Half the critics that I see online talking shit about me, I know for a fact they ain't never had a fight in their life, nor would they step into an octagon. And you got. I'm tough at taking my own advice, but you got to kind of drown out all the fucking noise and just focus on what you want and what you want to achieve. Because honestly, that see, believe, achieve bullshit Rockhold said is true, man. You can manifest some shit, and I think we've done that. 4 fucking year anniversary, what, 2, 3 weeks ago, and I'm knocking on the door to the NFL fighting. I can't fucking believe this, and next week I get to meet some of my heroes and I get to fight in front of them. And I don't think I've had a boring fight, so I'm excited to put on a fucking show for the boss. I'm excited to get some more fans and have another banger fight that people won't forget anytime soon.
Well, I want to talk about that fight in a second too, but you mentioned in there heroes and wanting to fight in front of some of your heroes. Who are some of the people who you're excited will be there in the Apex that you'll get to show out for?
Well, I'm pretty confident Felder's a part of that fucking DWCS crew, and that is just like I've admired that guy for the last 15 years. Being a huge fan of him and his fight style and just the fucking dog that he is. If I'm not mistaken, Bisping is too, ain't he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that's
last I heard it was Misfit too. Yeah.
like what the fuck, you know what I'm saying? I've been a fan of the Count nobody was a fan of him because he's such an abrasive fucker. But I'm so excited. Like this is I get to tell my story. I get to tell everybody like this is what I've already overcame. I've won the toughest fight of my fucking life, Dan, and that was with potentially dying before I hit this age that I am. Everything else is a bonus, and this chance, man, I get to fight in front of other UFC fighters if they're in town. I get to fucking, I don't know, win, lose, or draw, baby. I'm having a good time.
And, I know that obviously, like you said some of this story to me, you shared it with other people. You got the camera in front of you, right? You've got the ESPN crew is filming the
What
Steven
the fuck?
Asplund story, right? It's filming a little 30-second, minute long clip that they're gonna play in front of everybody on, their huge platform. When they're filming that, and I know it was yesterday for a lot of your stuff, when they were filming that, like is it going through your mind how crazy this is? Is it just nostalgic? And did you black out? Like, what was it like?
Dude, it's surreal. Like I'm in a dark room and there's big lights and I'm sitting here talking to people in a UFC shirt and just they're asking me questions about my life and I never thought anybody would give a fuck about me at all. You know what I'm saying? And like now, I mean, besides my family, and that's all I really need in my life. But just like coming from where I came from and everything that I've seen and everything that I've kind of lost at my fingertips with the football and the scholarships with that. Man, I cried. I cried a lot. I'm an emotional dude, and that's something I kind of touched on. Is like I feel like a lot of fighters don't really touch on the emotions that they feel during fight week. I'm so grateful that Mike Tyson is as verbal about what he's went through as he has, because I don't feel so alone when one of the baddest men on the fucking planet's talking about he's fucking scared to die in there. He's afraid to be seen by all these people. And, it's affirmation to a certain degree. And being able to tell my story and just, like I said, I hope to God I inspire somebody. And if I can do that, I've done my job, you know? And then I get to go punch somebody in the face while I do
Well, let's talk about punching somebody in the face too. So, obviously not a lot of time to game prep for Anthony Guarascio, but he's a guy who there's plenty of footage out there on, not many fights, but he was a CFFC guy. So obviously that footage is out there and whatnot. When you got your eyes on him, you got your chance to watch him fight a little bit. What are your thoughts on Anthony Guarascio?
That's a bad man, man. I'd be fucking remiss if I fucking said he wasn't. We're talking about 4 KOs in 2.5 minutes apiece. That's kind of insane. That's a crazy statistic. I understand why he got a shot. I'm here to spoil that shit, Danny. Yeah, I don't think that he's ever faced anybody that can really eat a shot, and that's with all due respect to his past opponents. His toughest opponent was Bailey Schoenfelder. Not to talk shit on Bailey, but I've been told for quite a while that I'd smoke Bailey. So I'm not Bailey. I know I can eat a shot. I don't plan on eating Anthony's shots. I plan on playing a smart game for the first round, trying to, tire this little big motherfucker out and, work my game. I like the outside, but boy, I've been getting comfortable on the inside with elbows. And this guy likes to clash his distance a lot. And I feel like there's going to be quite a few opportunities for me to cut him up. And I'm going to take everyone I can. Uh, you guys have seen me, my fights. You guys have seen me fight. I got 8 fucking weapons in the arsenal. I mean, don't get me wrong. His 2 were real dangerous, but 2 hasn't been enough for any of the guys in the past. So,
Well, and that pretty much brings me to what I was going to ask next, which is stylistically, like, right, this is a striker versus striker fight on paper, but it's a very different type of striker versus striker, right? It's the guy who throws the one and done big bombs and the guy who, I know you've been using the butcher lately a little bit more than
yeah,
concrete.
we're done with the butcher again. We're
Oh,
done.
okay, we're back to concrete.
Hey, the thing is, man, is this whole thing started with like a legacy deal, right? Like I wanted to do some of this for my dad and be able to carry the torch strong enough. But when they were asking me like, "What's your nickname?" I love my boys for giving me the butcher, but god damn it, how many butchers are there in the fucking UFC and all around, bro? You know what I mean? There's fucking one Steven Concrete. And I plan on just making it known. You know, I'm not going away from that. My chin's concrete, my hands are concrete, my fucking will is concrete. It takes a lot to beat me. So I'm gonna stick with that.
I dig
Um, and
it.
in regards to the matchup, man, no, Anthony's a fucking beast, bro. He's got heavy power in his hands, and so did Larry. So did fucking Billy Ray. So did fucking, Anthony. I got lucky with Anthony. He didn't fucking touch me, but you know what I mean? Like I fought guys with power, and he's 240 pounds, and I know he packs a fucking tough punch. I bet you his piss melts metal. No, I'm just talking shit. He doesn't look like he's on roids. He just looks like a brick shit house. No, man, I'm excited, and like I said, we haven't seen him out of the first round. And I don't know how much cardio he's doing, but I know for a fact my cardio is solid. I know for a fact that I could go 5.5s. And everybody says I look tired and fucking I get tired. Fuck yeah, I get tired. I'm fucking 265 pounds, and I'm still pretty technical being a fat fuck. So give me some credit. Let's have some fun. And let's go steal a contract from this fucking Tampa boy.
I love it. Now, I was gonna move right to the prediction here, but I gotta stop real quick because you mentioned your dad and you mentioned the legacy and you mentioned using the same nickname. And, obviously for those who don't know, your dad, legend of the sport, traveling around, had a pretty impressive career in his own right. What's it
I
like?
appreciate that, brother.
Oh, of course, of course. I've been live at your dad's fights a couple of times. I go back. So tell me, like, with that in the back of your mind too, what's that like for you, knowing that like you might take this next step for the concrete name?
It's not if, it's when, baby. And like this is crazy. I'm gonna start crying here, so don't make fun of me. But when I got to call my dad and tell him we made it back to the UFC, that was an emotional call because my dad won 20 something fights in a row and didn't get the call up. You know what I mean? And granted, it's regional scene, whatever. The shit wasn't as big 15 years ago, but I get to do this for us. Like it's not just my heart that's right. Like I'm in this for me. Like this is something I need to do for me. I'm proving to myself that I can fucking do this. I'm proving to everybody else that's talking shit that I can fucking do this. But to have my fucking dad on my team and like supporting me the way that he has, I'll never forget. He used to say I was too nice. I couldn't fight because I'd apologize all the time and I'd say sorry too much. And now he's my biggest supporter, and I'm just honored. I'm honored that I get to step into this cage with Steven Concrete as my fucking name. And I hope to God I get to make him proud. He says he's proud of me every day, but I want to go do this for him. I want to go get a UFC contract. I want to be able to wear some UFC shorts the next fight and fucking. I want to be able to bring this shit back to my city and do this shit for my family. I want to give my daughter a better life. I want to give my wife a better life. I want to be able to do stuff for my family. So I know Anthony's got a lot of shit that he's doing this for too. All of us are fucking psychos. There's a reason we got into this game. But I think my will is ironclad. And I think you're going to have to fucking kill me. And I know he's coming for blood, but so am I. So expect fireworks, man. This main event's going to be one of the best in recent memory. So
Well, you got me tearing up there. I'm gonna be honest. Like, wouldn't be you could be the tough guy because I can now admit that that shit's got me tearing up. So we'll switch gears to something that obviously we always end these things with a prediction. So let's be the tough guy. Let's give the prediction. How's this one officially end on Tuesday night?
I think Anthony's going to come out for blood too soon and too hard. I think I'm going to be able to I'm going to be able to deal with his blows. I'm going to counter strike his fucking head off. And I'm going to show him that you ain't going to touch me the way you've been touching these other guys. Second round KO, second round doctor stoppage. That's what I'm looking for. I want to get the first doctor stoppage in Dana White Contender Series history. I've been splitting motherfuckers open lately, and I'm excited to continue that streak.
All right, well, you heard it here first, folks. This has been Steven Asplund, who fights Anthony Guarascio. Week 5 of Dana White's Contender Series this Tuesday. Steven, thank you so much for the time, man. Always appreciate it.
Thank you, brother.